Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Your Words Not Mine podcast. Okay, guys, today I'm actually quite kind of
Excited.
yeah, I am excited about today's topic. Okay, it's a very good topic and can be controversial. Depends on how we are going along with it. Okay, to start you off for the new listeners, my name is Nur Akif,
My name is Hari.
and the special guest we have for today is.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, now that he said it, I know you see it.
No, I just say your name. It can be anything else.
Okay, anyway. Why do you have to say my surname?
I'm sorry. Shit, censor this shit right now.
No, redacted. Okay, anyway, so Hari also told me that I must introduce myself in a certain template format.
Yes.
So,
So
my
you
name-
guys get to know what he's doing.
So my name is John, and I was vegan for around 2 years. Before this, I was flexitarian, reductionist, and then all the funny labels. But basically,
words.
I saw some sad videos and I was like, okay, you know what, I should cut down on meat. But one day I decided something is up and therefore I changed. So let me share with you all the case of why I started going vegan instead.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, dude, we are Chinese, we eat everything.
Everything.
Like, everything. Like,
Yeah.
have you seen the way I eat my fish? Like, swim
No.
bladder, the sperm bag, everything.
Do you do
the
like
eyes.
goat's blood? Like the blood?
You think it's a vampire?
No, they do blood.
Oh shit!
Yeah, snake blood also is a delicacy.
Snake blood.
Snake blood.
Mm.
Orochimaru.
Orochimaru. yes.
Sorry, apologies.
Alright, let's move back.
Okay.
Okay, so for me, it all stemmed off from this animal-centric approach. But after that, I realized there's more to it than just the animal-centric approach. There's also just like for the sake of other fellow human beings, for the environment, and ultimately for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So the last part only came in sometime later. Okay, now I'll go back into that later.
Mhm.
So basically, why for us? So
Mhm.
the COVID-19 just ended, right?
Yeah.
And do you remember what sparked off COVID-19?
The bats
Bad. Something to do with bad, bro. That's all I know.
Alright,
bad,
so yeah,
bad diseases.
basically it was still from the farming industry or the consumption of animals rather.
Okay.
So this is not the first time. Before this, there was actually the mad cow disease. There was H1N1,
Yeah.
H7N9, and avian flu. All these
Avian
other
flu, yeah.
funny pandemics all actually stem from
Animals.
the consumption of animals or the
Mhm.
exploitation of animals.
Okay.
And now there's one whole new issue coming up. It's called antibiotic resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So for those less initiated, it's basically the more you eat antibiotics, the more the more bacteria or your germs you
Yeah.
get used to it, and then, well, they get stronger. It's like the more you gym, the buffer you become.
So the germs like kind of work on antibiotics.
Yeah. So after a while, so basically the antibiotics are no longer as efficient as they used to be.
Okay.
So that's called antibiotic resistance, and because the livestock farming industry uses a lot of antibiotics,
Mhm.
these germs, these viruses, sorry, I checked that statement. Living things basically.
Mhm.
Antibiotics do not work on viruses.
Mhm.
Before you all sound stupid. Okay, but anyway,
Yep.
so you yep quite fast. Okay, but yeah, so basically all this
Mhm.
you laugh so much. Okay, all these
Shut up.
germs will get resistance, and because of that, we have next healthcare issue. Our next healthcare catastrophe that's coming up.
Mhm.
So the next one is actually for the environment, because livestock farming is actually the leading cause of land degradation, erosion, deforestation, and oceanic dead zones.
Mhm.
And well, here's a fun fact. So in terms of land use, we use 50% of all of our habitable land for agriculture. Of this land mass, we are using 77% for livestock.
Mm.
But yet, on average, we have less than 20% of our calories coming from animal-based proteins.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay.
In terms of fun fact, inefficient. Okay, no kidding. Anyway, for others, so for fellow humans also.
Mhm.
So if you actually zoom in into slaughterhouse workers, our slaughterhouse workers are. So in the US, they did a census to check who are actually working in these slaughterhouses,
Okay.
especially during COVID season.
Mhm.
Like they still have to work during COVID. We all
Yeah.
stay at home,
Mhm.
lockdown, everything, but they're essential.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who are these people actually? So in the US, they did a census and they realized that they are mainly people of color, like Hispanics and whatnot,
Mhm.
and illegal immigrants also. So basically, they're voiceless and they have no choice but to do it. Okay, I'm not going to label them as voiceless, but they have no choice but to do it.
I get
They're
what you
locked
mean.
in a poverty cycle. So these are the demographics that's working there.
Mhm.
But at the same time, they also did a psych study of these people.
Mhm.
So they actually went and checked like how's their mental well-being and everything, and they
Mhm.
realized that a lot of them actually have side issues and health issues.
Mhm.
So in a local context, all our swabbers, everything, they were earning a lot of money
Mhm.
per hour. But they also came back with health issues. Like my neighbor was working as a swabber for a while. He
Mhm.
came back, he told me his neck is now permanent, like something wrong with his vertebrae now,
Mhm.
from just swabbing people for like for so long hours a day.
Mhm.
And so he did kind of mention that it was not worth the 3 to 4 months good
Mhm.
pay.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it. Yeah, but the thing is, they got good pay. But these slaughterhouse workers, they do not
Really
have good pay.
good pay. Wow.
Yeah, and they come back with all these issues like capitano and whatnot. There's a lot of journal articles on this online.
Mhm.
And well, okay, sorry, to their mental health, since Hari is a psych lover.
Yes.
He's a mental patient. Oh no, sorry,
Oh
not
wait,
mental
sorry,
patient.
not mental.
Mm.
Okay. Anyway,
Mhm. Yes.
yeah. So we can't expect a living human being to just work long hours, slaughtering living things, and just go home and be perfectly mentally healthy in a good mental health state.
Mhm.
So same here for them. Same here for them.
Mhm.
When they go home,
Mhm.
they did a psych study on them, and they realized that they tend to neighborhoods around slaughterhouses tend to have increased incidences of violent crimes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
What's the link though?
what's the link?
Like why?
Why?
How is that going to link to like violent crimes? Why?
I'm not done yet. Why you keep interrupting me?
I have to
Hurry.
ask.
Okay, we will go deeper
that
into
point
that later. Yeah,
okay,
later.
go,
When you bring up
continue.
questions.
Karen.
So their mental health isn't that good. Like a lot of them tend to have like PTSD, for example. But this is quite ironic because they're not the like conventionally the victim is the one that is getting exploited and manipulated. But in this case, they're not the one being exploited or manipulated. They are exploiting animals, other living things, and they are technically in this case not the victim. But they're also suffering from PTSD. They're also suffering from other mental health issues, which if you want, I can give you all journal articles to see, especially you, Hari. Okay, but
Yes.
so this is so basically I covered for the environment,
Mhm.
for us,
Mhm.
and for other human beings.
Okay.
But let me go deeper into the health part because this is something that I started searching out more on after my mom got diagnosed a few years back. Then I realized that your diet does play a role in health. And so I used to eat whatever the crap I want to eat. Then I realized that yes, there's unhealthy food and there's there's healthy food. Like any gym goer will know that. Actually, no, anyone will know that. But then after looking deeper into it, I realized that the consumption of meat does correlate with many health issues. Like if you look at red meat based on WHO guidelines, luncheon meat or any of your processed meat is a class 1 carcinogen. It's grouped together with tobacco. So if you're not smoking but you're eating red meat,
That means I'm a smoker.
you might as well smoke, man.
Might as well just
So
smoke.
I will start smoking after this.
Okay, but you're not eating luncheon meat or what anymore, right? Alright, in that
Bro,
case.
you're eating luncheon meat, right? That's a question altogether, you know. It's worse.
Sorry, I meant corned beef. Okay, but anyway,
Yes.
back to the topic at hand. So yes, so actually if you look at the consumption of red meat, it's also a class 2A carcinogen. And there are certain chemicals in your red meat that actually has a correlation with cancer. So there's some nitrosamines and TMAO.
Can I ask also just to ask, like they also said that it like boosts aggression levels and also it fluctuates your give emotional dysregulation, right? Is that true?
You should check the research article to check. Like since we are in a westernized society, right? Shouldn't we follow a Western medicine journals? So based on shouldn't we follow what is conventional norms of the Western journals? And Western journals are detecting that there's a correlation between cancer and the consumption of meat.
But I mean, is
They're
there a
not-
correlation for the mental state as well?
Mental state wise,
Like emotions
not
and stuff?
many citations based on that. So I wouldn't venture as far as to bring that up. But for me, the thing that hit closer to home was just how poorly it was a carcinogen, how poorly market it has been as a carcinogen, and actually, in fact, promotional campaigns are actually showing it as other things like its masculinity, it's going to make you buffer, it's going to make you stronger, it's going to make you cooler. Like if you look at the Burger King advert, it was a lady licking a burger. She wasn't even eating it. Yeah.
Please send that link right after this podcast.
You mean the advert?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so for me, so these were a few factors, like apart from the animal-centric approach that I was going. So this was a few approaches that I realized that brought upon myself a case to go vegan. Otherwise, I love my meats, dude. Like, I was carnivorous before this. I hate vegetables. Tofu tastes like tofu has this very weird aftertaste. It's super gross. Peas taste like I don't know what does peas taste like. Do it taste like plastic? Yeah, I don't know. So I really didn't like my vegetables. But at the same time, I realized that now that I know all this stuff, there's more moral culpability in a way. And because there's moral culpability and there's suffering involved, shouldn't I, from a utilitarian standpoint, want to minimize suffering and maximize pleasure for everyone? And I realized that I also skew towards negative utilitarianism, where I truly believe that the reduction of suffering outweighs the maximization of happiness. Because you can be happy, but if you're still suffering, doesn't that negate your happiness in a way? Okay, that's just my view. And because we are in a society where we are autonomous, right? We all have freedom to have our own view. So this is my own experience, and this is why I view that this is the case for veganism, and because of that, I became vegan.
Okay.
Yep.
So can I ask questions? You want to ask first?
With you first, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask a more general question stemming from your latest review. Okay, first before that, I'm vegetarian as well. If you guys didn't know. So the difference between me and him is we don't do animal byproducts and also the clothing, right? I assume, yeah. So then again, similar to what he said, the reason why I went vegetarian was I think would say 5%, 10% probably of his, no, maybe 10 to 20% of what he mentioned. But I think the latter 80% like comes from my own self-development. I believe. Because then again, like what he mentioned, the carcinogens per se, right? Like I have read articles that's why the question I asked you before was that it distorts, not really distorts, but it gives a lot of emotional dysregulations in your brain. And certain chemicals in like the red meat, it boosts like aggression levels and stuff like that. So towards like working towards self-development, like I realized that such things in red meat will just hamper that process of reaching there, you see. So then again, in society in general, like we are taking move of, cutting out animals. Okay. Then again, I don't know if you guys like humans created like the 6th mass extinction or probably the 7th right now. I don't know if you guys are aware. So then again, yes. So this shows that human have a potential view towards or approach towards animals per se. So there are a lot of articles, yes, again, going around these factors. But then again, based on what John's saying, I want to add on that this going vegan itself has also a positive effect on your own mental well-being. And that's the I find it's really important because regardless of what we do, like even though whether it's society or saving animals, it's then again there's always a small content where we're doing it for ourselves, like happiness or whatever it is. So there's small selfish content. And then again, if we can suit our own well-being as well, including society, then it's a win-win situation altogether. Yeah. So then again, but I like to ask questions because there's a difference between him and me, right? Like he's vegan and I'm vegetarian. So I like to ask some reasons why I didn't go vegan per se. So first I want to ask is lifestyle choice, right? So vegan lifestyle choice, let's say if I were to go out to have like a proper meal, it's bloody expensive. It's really bloody expensive. But then again, apart from that, okay, like the way you buy stuff and you have to cook and stuff like that. So you have to prevent like a lot of stuff you have to omit from eating, correct? Because there's certain particular like dairy milk, so you can't do it, right? So like as I cook once in a while, not nowadays I don't really do it. But when I used to cook, when I started vegetarian, I still incorporate like dairy products. But now like if I can't incorporate dairy products, then it's like I'm a bit stuck on how to go. And then again, I work out a lot, so I need like protein like from milk. Then again, there's other side factors, but I realized that okay, so let me give you another reason why I'm saying this. Okay, like then again, I always like to say this. I don't believe in like absolutes. I believe in relativity. Like one happen all like once you mentioned this one factor where people autonomous beings, right? Like they have no choice. So what I was telling Akif, like
Autonomous
previously-
means you have choice.
sorry, shit. Autonomous means you have choice. Sorry, my bad. So going back to the fact where like example like tribe people, right? So living in poverty cycle. So poverty cycle then again for veganism, right, to reach that aspect, it's pretty hard. They live around in a farm lifestyle. It's like a cycle, the food chain, right? The food chain is a cycle. So in that context, how can you preach to them, tell them not to eat animals when under malnutrition cycle they are going through right now? Meat is one of the main sources of products they can consume. So if you say no to them and they cannot do such a thing and you're against, because against one against all. So is there like a relativity? So is there like what I call it intention? Meaning, let's say right now you are stuck in an area and for survival, you need to consume it. For survival. Yeah. So intention, of course, like whatever you mentioned, the intention is there. But what if for survival, then what do you do then? Do you just die off? That's my question.
That wasn't just one question, that was 4 or 5.
Okay, but then again, it stems down to like the lifestyle. Let's say expensive lifestyle, blah 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 contributes, and you have no choice basically. Like let's say you don't have proper income, you cannot afford. You don't have a maid to cook for you. You cannot, and you're so busy that you have to eat what, like say you go down to food and eat stuff food, and you cannot eat the same vegetarian food. Let's say. So I'm talking about people out there that wants to question this one point, because coffee people out there, they don't convert for some reasons, right? I realize this is one of the reasons. So I'm just asking for the viewers. So
Okay,
what's
so
your point?
alright, so there's actually many things to address in your one question ish. 5 questions. Okay, but before we go any further, I realize I forgot to define what veganism is. And veganism is okay, so like I said, it's my belief, and some people do hold on to this belief as well, is that we try to minimize as much suffering and exploitation of animals as much as possible. So I said in another context, I said I was on some island alone with no edible plants, no edible fruits, no whatsoever, and I had to kill my dog that was with me.
that is like really a turn. I didn't say your own dog, just an animal. Okay, let's say like less
that's the
sentient
situation
being.
that you brought up.
Less
you can
sen-
see the situation that you brought up, right? It's
Okay.
a very unlikely situation, or it's a situation that happens out of the blue. That's why I said my dog. Okay.
Okay,
but
okay,
anyway,
okay.
if I had to kill an animal to live on that island, and I
Yes.
have strong will that I know that I need to go home,
Okay.
I will still do it because it's practically like my will to live still outweighs the other animals' will to live. But but you see, you're talking about a context where you are let's say you're in a burning house, for example, and you had to save another human. Okay, sorry, going slightly off tangent here, but I'll bring it back there. So, like, let's say one is out of necessity, so you need to save yourself.
Yes.
But you're not in that situation currently in this day and age, because
No,
we are given
definitely.
other options.
Definitely.
So the same thing as when people tell us like, oh, but plants have feelings too. So why do you all still consume plants, right, and not consume animals?
Still being proven, by the way. Still being proven.
Still being proven, like they're trying to say long beans have consciousness and
Yeah,
whatnot, and
still
because
being
they're conscious,
proven.
they're sentient, and because they're sentient, they can feel pain, and because they can feel pain, they can suffer, and because they
Sentient
can
is
suffer,
a
we
very
should.
complicated topic.
Yeah. So okay, that's another topic.
Yes,
at hand.
yes.
But as of now, it's not proven.
Yeah.
But it's no knowledge now that all animals feel pain except for like they claim oysters don't. But that's why oysters. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So back to the topic at hand. Okay, let me finish the plant part first. Okay.
Yes.
Let's say there's a burning house and
Okay.
there was your plant and your dog inside, and then you come out and you tell the fireman, my dog's inside,
Okay.
and the fireman comes down with your I don't know whatever plant, aloe vera plant, your money
Okay.
plant, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then you ask him, why didn't you save my dog? And
Okay.
he says plants have feelings too.
Okay, that's good.
How do you feel?
Of course, at a point of time, I will be like, bro, like what? Fuck.
No, but plants have feelings too, dude.
Okay, yeah, plants have feelings too, dude. But of course, compared to a dog, if in terms of conscience and if there's a level to sentientness, then of course the dog will be like more sentient compared
Okay.
to like
So
animal.
in this
Plant.
particular context or scenario, right? How do we as humans judge the level of sentience? That's one thing. Secondly,
I
is
don't even know it's a word.
why
but okay, but yeah.
why do we get the choice to choose who survives and who's not? Is that because we are the superior beings? Is it just because the luxury of choice we are constantly? I mean, compared to humans, plants, and animals, right? We definitely stand out on top. We are smarter, we are stronger, etc. So
predator.
in that situation, right, we have the choice. What if it brings out to the plants or animals, they would choose themselves to save, or they would choose like imagine if there's a plant and they have the choice to choose between a human being and an animal. I don't really know what plants are thinking, but maybe that's the context as it is. But when it comes to the island, right? Okay, let's say you're on a stop on an island. I think both of you bring out very good points, and then how I try to think and rationalize about this is that he's a vegan. He will try not to go against his beliefs, but in that case, there's no other food source except for his dog or any other animals. So he had to break that oath, break that belief in himself, and then but the difference here is that the main argument that maybe I think vegans can bring out forward is that there's a difference between intention and certainty. So intention, when you are exposed to a public place and where there's other food source, right? you do not choose that meat intentionally. You intentionally choose to eat, just choose to exercise your vegan beliefs. Whereas in an island, there is no other choice, and that is just a certainty. He has to do what he has to survive. But then again, I think you spoke earlier about if he managed to sacrifice himself, like, okay, I'm a vegan, I'm just gonna die, I'm not gonna eat any other food source because of how strongly I believe in my, and hats off, kudos. But if he doesn't, we also could not blame him, because it's for survival. And in the question of survival,
precisely.
all the aspects of culture and belief sometimes goes out of the window because of your need for survival, right?
But then again, that's why, like John mentioned, in the world of today, like yes, that's why I gave a extreme example earlier. But then again, yeah, like a modern world of today, you have a choice. Like the reason why I said lifestyle choice is because yes, it is expensive. People give me that reason all the time. They say that, hey, it's really expensive and it's not much different to meat. It's not even my mother just eat meat, and I pay more for the vegan product.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why they give me these type of reasons why they don't want to convert. But that's why, because they don't see a better picture. Then again, that's the reason why we are like the first 10%. Like there's this theory I just realized recently. I talked to a lot of people. They want to be the last 10%. They want to see an improvement, like in the world, in people, in their own individual well-being. Then they say, okay, that's when I take my food forward. Until they don't want to make the food, because we like believe, because we have done like our research and we know that this is right for us. Then again, why? What are the reasons you just mentioned? That's why we are taking the first step forward to show the other 10% that there's a difference. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I actually didn't really finish about the island thing, but
okay, please
never
continue.
mind. We can move forward because it looks like we are going deeper in. So,
Okay.
as for the island thing, I hope that we have established the fact that it's out of practicality. I know some people that will tell you up front, they will still not consume any other animal product,
Yeah.
and like you said, they will just die. And to each their own. I mean, it's your life, your choice, right? Are you going to infringe your life choices and your morality on another living human being?
Nope.
Yeah, so same here lah. Anyway, so moving forward to other things that you have brought up. So let's address like practicality first before we move on to the rest.
Okay.
So you mentioned that, well, yeah, I agree with some vegan food can be expensive, but there goes the same for meat eating as well. If you go to a steak place, it's also going to be damn expensive, right? But okay, so let's look at economic choices like Indian food store or mixed veggie rice. Which one is more expensive, vegetables or meat?
Meat too. I know meat is more expensive.
Okay, but isn't vegans and vegetarian options generally vegetables?
But then again, what I'm trying to say is that when I mean by lifestyle choice, okay, then again I should refine my question. When I'm talking about, like, let's say you're going out with a friend to eat like a restaurant or stuff like that, not just then you go to like some nice restaurant. So like let's go simple, let's say Muslim or Indian food. You get like a dish for like $6-8, maybe $10. But you always go to like these vegan places and like it's expensive. You can't lie. That is a fact. Like if you go to a vegan restaurant or cafe, right? Regardless of how cheap it might sound, but the whole that same quantity, the same amount, it's more expensive.
You're talking about vegan options, right? So I'm telling you that.
Not vegan option as in like stuff sold in the supermarket, but like cafes and like restaurants. Like you see compare, like there's like the luxury goods and then there's normal goods, right? So if you see like in terms of course these all are normal goods because these are consumed by everybody, it's a necessity. Then vegans, I don't even consider luxury good, but I'm just considering normal goods for now. So then again, if you see, let's see on a normal level, let's go to normal restaurant, normal cafe, right? You buy like the food portion, a meat and mixed veggie portion, right? It goes to like 10, maybe $15, right? So like go again, like your favorite lovehandle burger, right? One burger itself costs like what, $25.
Wait, pause first. I am not in any way sponsored by Lovehandle Burger.
Yeah,
But
because
it's an amazing place, guys. It's an amazing place. You can try.
you can.
Okay, but amazing place.
It is amazing place and it's amazing food. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah. Oh, it tastes really close to me.
Can I try one day?
You have to. You love it. You love
Okay,
it.
can I try one?
No, you
love handles, is it?
Love handles.
It's not the ones where you. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, both lah, both.
Yeah,
but yeah, we can go one day. Okay, but
please. Yeah, I want to know more about
topic
this.
again. So,
Yes, tell me.
if you really want to compare now, especially with inflation and whatnot at this day and age, if you really want to compare cafe to cafe prices, Lovehandle is actually very. Why are we talking about Lovehandle? Okay, but it's actually quite comparable. Like it's comparable. Like you just happen to choose the expensive options. There are actually $12-15 options on the menu, but no, you decided
A proper meal.
Right,
A proper meal.
Yeah, it's a proper meal, dude. It's like chicken rice, mee sua. Yeah, so
12 to 15.
Yeah, 12 to 15 range. We can go there. I can show the menu now. Actually, I have it on my phone.
No,
Oh my
they're
God,
not going there.
Okay,
I just want to know.
So there are options. It's just like you go to a cafe, you order a steak. it's going to be very expensive. It's not going to be 12 to 15, face it. Unless you go eat Collins at a coffee shop lah. But then that means you'll be comparing coffee shop foods. But if you really want to look at a cafe setting, most vegan cafes are comparable. And in terms of nutritionally speaking, it's also comparable.
Went to the vegan ice cream that day. It was $8 for a scoop.
Okay, so let's say you were to go to
$8.
NTUC right now and buy like vegan ice cream versus normal ice cream, dairy ice cream. It's still
Cheaper.
comparable. Actually, in fact, which one's cheaper? Sorry.
Huh?
Which one is cheaper?
No, sorry. As in, I'm asking you, like, you mean talking about like supermarkets, like normal
Yeah.
ice cream and vegan
Like,
ice cream?
So now that we established that cafes are around
Okay,
the
but
same,
yes, but again,
yeah.
protein also, I realize pea protein and normal protein also, guys.
It's all still around the same. Like if you like,
Maybe pea protein be cheaper.
you see,
I think.
you look at my protein and you see the my vegan alternative.
It's a bit similar. Yeah,
it's
I
the same.
agree.
It's literally the same price.
That's why I don't want to compare supermarket prices. I want to compare like cafes and restaurants.
so
Make it seem, maybe can I ask? I can ask this. No, I'm out of curiosity.
Faster.
Like the way it's so charged, so expensive, does it give like a luxurious feel to veganism? Like makes you feel like vegans are like whoa, because everywhere you go vegan stuff, like people taking fucking pictures and fucking fancy, Singapore's trend setting, right? And it's expensive. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, yes, then again there are choices, but other choices in general, like lovehandle and like maybe the ice cream. What's the name of the ice cream? It's $8 a scoop, by the way, guys. Yeah.
Hey, but kind is great, man. Okay.
No.
There's a bourgeois feel to some
but
vegan
do you
things. I
think it
agree
does?
with you.
Okay, I feel sometimes at times when I go to these places, I feel like it gives like a very luxurious feel.
You feel empowered, is it? Do you feel like do you feel a bit validated?
No,
Is
fuck
that
no.
proper?
But okay, but then again, I think I shouldn't go into deep into this. So yes, continue your next practical after this part. Yeah. So that's all. I just want to ask this question. So now you've answered the question. So basically, I have to find better options, right? So okay.
It's not find better options. It's just
No, as in,
there are options. There are actually great options.
cheaper
but
ones. I have to open my eyes.
yeah, so but because you were talking about
Scroll all the way down
financial
the menu.
viability, right?
Yeah.
So financial viability, we'll be looking at the cheapest alternative, and the cheapest best alternative will be mixed veggie rice or Indian food stall. And if you have to look at that straight, you just ask personally, I go to mixed veggie rice stew. I tell the uncle, okay, it's in Chinese. I 吃斋的, I eat vegetarian. And then he'll just tell me whichever option has no animal products in it. And more often than not, it is still quite reasonable. Like I can tell you my meal, one rice, 3 veg, $2.40 to maybe $3.60. My dad buys his 2 meat, no rice cause he's trying to lose weight. It's still more expensive than my food. So if you want to talk about financial viability,
Understood.
it's really your own consumer choice.
Understood.
Yeah. So, but legit like that. Let's say you cook. Like say you cook once a month.
Okay.
Or let's say some other people out there, they actually cook a lot. Which one's more expensive? Legumes, beans? Or your chicken chop, your beef stick at the other side?
Okay, yeah, you're right. You know what? Yes. Then you're right. The options of
It's just really consumer choices ultimately. You can't chuck it under veganism and say that this is expensive. I'm not going to do it. Yeah. But
understood.
that's just a particular aspect of it. But if you want to delve deeper into the view of why veganism is what it is, then I think just now you also did mention that you asked something about how practical it is in a way. Because you within your one question you asked me 5.
Okay, just
and we kind of we just zoop past. So
practical. Okay, I mean you answered most of my questions already actually. It's just I mentioned lifestyle choices. I mentioned practical. I mentioned about intentional. You answered most of it already actually. That's the gist of what I'm bringing
I
across.
feel like there's still one more thing, but okay, never mind. Sorry, you want to say something?
Okay, hold on. I got a few points here. Brought up my iPad, please. Right. Okay. I got this question, which is just kind of interesting. So, the topic of the question is does legality equals to morality? So, okay, let's say in terms of culture, right? Okay, in China there's the Yunlin Dog Festival. Okay, culture. So it is okay when it comes to China, right? It is legal there. Okay, so whereas in Singapore, if you kill a dog, you'll be like, hey, dude, what the fuck? Why you kill a cat? Hey, why you kill a dog? Yeah, it's illegal here, right? Okay, so the thing is, right? Does that mean that if it's legal, it is morally correct? So the question extends to like the slaughterhouse as well. So slaughterhouse, and let's say, okay, I got another I got a better scenario, okay? So let's say you got dog fights, okay? Dog fights, definitely illegal, okay? And then you got slaughterhouse. Which one is legal? Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse is legal, right? It's legal, because they have to our food and all that. So the question is, one is bad. I think I see maybe there's 2 evils there. So maybe we take the lesser evil, right? Or per se. So dog fights, we are breeding them to fight against each other. It's bad. Definitely, you're right. We don't think, hey, that's bad, bastards, Okay, and then slaughterhouse. Are we doing the same thing, or is it morally justifiable? Because don't worry, because it's legal, so it should be correct. It should be correct. But then again, right? Do we really supersede the law? Do we go over the fact that of rational thinking that maybe what if both of them are wrong? Or am I missing something? Is there something in slaughterhouses which can be justified? What do you think? I think both of you can answer this.
I think it's not about being like the justification and whatnot. Like both are wrong in general, like to us at least. But then again, is because people out there believe like meat is out there like cow and whatever it is made for humans to consume. So therefore, it's legal. So you make it illegal, then you're forcing everybody to go out there become vegetarian or vegan. You see. So that's the reason why majority people believe, and that's how, as hunter-gatherer society, like how humans were brought up from the industrial revolution, whatever stuff, they still consume animals. But then, of course, we got intelligence, we got intellectual, and then therefore, okay, again, the intellectuality is like whatever God creation, whatever it is. Let's not go there, but talking in general. So yes, so then again, because of that, we have a choice now. Right, back then we didn't have a choice for survival. What we mentioned just now, necessity, whatever it is. But now we have a choice. So, but of course, people, because they know that because humans are meant to do such a way, they said legalize this thing. But then again, because dogs are pets or sentient beings again, and they feel like, that cannot be, because legally they don't really eat dogs. And dogs are meant to be. It's classified as pets. Okay. So therefore, it's classified as pets, so they don't want to eat it. But then pig also can be classified as pets, right? So it's quite cute, actually. Some kids. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then again, go.
All right. Carry on. Actually, I'm very glad you brought up this point. And before I delve deeper into this point, I would like to say, you mentioned that just cause dogs are born and bred to fight in dog fighting rings, doesn't mean that it's right.
Yeah, correct.
So just cause cows are born and bred to give us dairy, to give us beef, does not mean it's right. Can you see where I'm going with this?
So that's the because I'm trying to study veganism as a whole. So this is one of the topics that I kind of chanced upon, and then I thought, okay, you know what, it will be a perfect opportunity to ask you. So it's like, so this question, that's why I'm asking from both sides. From my side, I haven't had the luxury to really dive in deep, but maybe towards a veganism standpoint, you can really explain why this thinking is flawed in the first place, and as a community, and how the world can try to exercise their willpower to actually change this method, or is it going to be normalized as under the guise of it's normal, it's the ecosystem.
So as we established earlier, that just cause it's born and bred to do it doesn't justify that. Doesn't justify it. Doesn't make it right. So just now you did. Not only do you say just cause something is legally right doesn't make it morally right, you also did bring in some aspects of culture. Okay. So let's delve deeper into the legally right first. Okay. So just cause something is legally right doesn't make it morally right. What is your personal views on that? Harry, you want yes or no?
Well,
yes or no? No, I'm joking.
What's legally right is not morally right. Is it? That's the question, right?
Is it possible for something to be legally right and not be morally right, and vice versa?
Possible.
It's possible? What about you, man?
Sure, I kind of blanked out, man. Okay.
So basically,
hold on.
basically our gist is legally, it's we assume it's right, but morally it's wrong. That's what I'm trying to say, right? So it's not doesn't mean legal means it's moral, right? Of course, I disagree. Like I believe that even though it's legal, it doesn't need to be moral. Like, it can be moral, it cannot be moral.
Okay. Yeah. I think what how does to some extent, yeah, to some extent. Do you have anything to add on, or okay?
Just asking your thoughts.
Yes, yes.
So recently the 377A got repealed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was a legal thing. Also.
Yes.
But they didn't make it a morally right thing. You don't answer that, cause
Yes, I'm not gonna answer it.
okay, but also a long time ago, slavery was also legally right. They didn't make it
Slavery was legally right. Morally was
right.
wrong. Yeah.
Anti-feminism practices were also legally right sometime back. Doesn't make it morally right. So does our judicial system have the right to dictate our morality in a way? So that's something that you question. But I would think that our legal system does not justify whether we should make consumer choices that cause pain and suffering to other animals, the environment, and other fellow human beings as well. And now let's bring in culture.
Mhm.
So does something that's culturally right make it morally right?
Mhm.
So this is something that I realized I also needed to ask myself, because culturally as a Chinese,
It's quite similar actually,
we
right?
we consume meat like mad. Like every dish I will have every meal I will at least have 2 dishes of meat. Like yes, yeah. Okay, rice is supposed to be the staple. I don't know how meat got into it. So just because something is culturally right doesn't make it morally right. Can you give me any
I
example of a cultural thing that
I-
is completely morally
I
right?
okay. I don't want to
I-
go deep into this.
Okay, can.
We agreed upon this, but then again, I believe that one thing that
Mhm.
can be again not I didn't believe in it. I didn't believe in it. But one thing that can be right in both ways would be religion. I believe if religion is right religiously, then to people out there, people who believe in it, then it is morally right for them as well. That's the one aspect I believe that it can be right the both ways or wrong the both ways. Even though I don't want to go deep into it, but I believe that's one aspect. Because culture, then again, it is different, but religion is different, especially major religions. So then again, that's the reason why. Because people believe in a religion. So if the religion preaches them a certain way, they believe what? I mean, then again, I don't want to go into deep into this, but yes, that's what I'm trying to say. That's one aspect that.
Okay, I need to retract my statement about the what's culturally right. Does it can you give example? Because I couldn't finish my sentence, and now
Okay,
that you cut
sorry.
me off, right, it makes it
Okay.
sound like I was being a bigot. Because I did not finish my sentence. Then
Okay,
I was like, after I
please.
realized, I was like, oh shit. Okay, but
Okay,
never mind.
please
So
continue.
let me retract that statement first
Okay,
before I get
okay.
before any listeners decide like, oh shit, this
They
guy
will
is.
shoot me. I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just because something is culturally right doesn't make it morally right. And another thing is society does shape your culture, and some things in society always change. So if your culture keeps changing, does your morality keep changing?
Mm.
That's one question that we need to ask ourselves. Like you can like regardless of your worldview, like some people say morals are relative, morals are absolute and whatnot. This is for you all to decide for yourself, because it's not something I can tell you. But culture. So for me, in my opinion, just because something is culturally right doesn't make it morally right. Yeah, and I retract my statement about whether you can give me an example whether something culturally right
Okay.
will always. Yeah, okay, yeah. So basically, I retract that. Please don't cancel me.
No, I mean we're just having an honest discussion, so
Okay.
we're not saying anything negative in any sort of way.
But it's an interesting point that you guys talked about. And for John, right? Okay, we as human beings, we constantly try to ask ourselves question, and the podcast is literally questioning our own beliefs. Okay, so it's very good that we explore a lot of different standpoints and viewpoints about this. So for us, I think it's our responsibility as, let's say, you put the culture and religion aside, as human beings, we need to continue trying to extensively better ourselves and improve ourselves. So even if I'm not saying that veganism is the absolute truth, the absolute, but we need to consider every option, every standpoint, and then for ourselves think rationally and decide whether, okay, I'm going to do this because I believe in this particular faith or system, or I'm gonna continue doing like this. So for example, like that slavery was an absolute. It was a good example, because humans decided one day, you know what, slavery isn't good. They try. They think about. They think about it, and then they decided, okay, let's try to abolish all this, and now we do not have slavery. That's good. That's good. Okay. So I think humankind, right? Throughout the years, we are constantly questioning, even if it's not us, it's some random ass philosophers in the street or what, constantly trying to question the what is morally right, what is morally acceptable, and that in point, society will adapt itself to it. Okay, yeah. So it's actually a very good observation, and for us, what we can do is actually. We need to be open about all these concepts and try to study and see how we can adapt to it also. Yeah.
I would like to just put one point there because I didn't actually explain why I went vegetarian and why I don't eat meat, right? So I'm just gonna do a quick one. So on my part, right, other than whatever John and I discussed, right, that one other factor I realized it's a bit, I don't know whether it's, you can say more like a more spiritual worldview, it's safer to put it. So I believe that like the cycle of like your life, right? There shouldn't be any negativity in any sorts, in like a way. So like towards self development, like then again, I try my best to work along myself and the way I think and the way I behave and act, right? So I believe that certain, like then again, meat sources and certain things you do in life contribute to such self development. So I try to omit as much as possible. So I realized that omitting like meat per se, people asking why omit meat, I can omit alcohol, can omit drugs, whatever it is, right? So I think compared to all the vices, maybe alcohol is the only thing I do that so-called distorts my mind. But other than that, then again, people ask me, so you do alcohol, then you cut alcohol, you eat animals, they ask me to tell me sort of things, right? But I tell them, yeah, I get where you're coming from. But alcohol is like a social way of once in a while with my friends, and I just chill a bit. I don't do anything. I'm dead drunk lying on the floor. Never done that before. Maybe the past years, but now I don't do it anymore. So I don't do it anymore. But then again, you have to cut. So and then going into deeper again, let me just put like one point. Because like the cycle of consuming your food, okay, that's a cycle altogether. I think I explained to you, right? So if you consume food or whatever it is in a negative way, let's say you kill a cow and then you cook it and then blah blah blah, you consume it, right? So the cow was killed. Oh, I can't eat cow. The
Cows are
chicken,
smarter than dogs,
the
so
chicken,
same thing.
okay, the chicken was killed. Okay, killed and then cooked into like a nice chicken fried rice for me to eat. So the end product is nice for me to consume, but the starting product is still negative. So I believe there should be a positive cycle altogether in the whole consumption process. So like the way, like example, plants, whatever it is. Then again, it's how feelings part has not been proven yet, but compared again to a proper life source, which is like animals, it's lesser. If you want to talk about evil, then finally it's less evil, in a way. So it's more positive. So the way we consume and the way we cook the food and the way we consume it, it's like a very positive outgrow. So that's like 5 to 10%, which I don't really tell people about. But that's the reason, one major reason why as well, that really pushes me to this. Yeah, other than everything we discussed in self-development part and the society part, yeah.
Yeah, but thank you for bringing up the part on savory and but it didn't happen overnight. Like, I'm pretty sure you know that abolition of slavery didn't happen overnight.
It's a struggle. Right?
And it's a struggle because it used to be a cultural norm. Yeah.
It used to be okay.
Yeah, it used to be okay, legally okay and culturally okay. But like we have mentioned before, doesn't make it morally okay.
Yeah.
And so that's why vegans are so annoying. I agree with you that I met some also. But yeah, just because they're annoying, you can't say that the cause is not right. Just because the people that represent the cause are not right. And the thing is, if you all can see it from I can see it from a meat eater perspective also, because I used to love my meat, right? But if you actually can see from a vegan perspective, for every 1 hour I sit here with you all, you know how many animals are dying? For 1 hour I sit here with you all, you know how much greenhouse gases are emitted, how much water footprint is spent, how many kids are dying just because we are transferring their grains from developing countries to developed countries. Okay, actually we can't say that anymore, developing or developed. But okay, sorry for the sake of conventional grammar.
I understand.
So we are transferring all these grains to feed cows so that moderate to rich guy can have a steak tonight. So basically, I don't know if you can see it, but I see the need for a call for action. Because of that, I can see why vegans are so annoying. Yeah, but I still can't explain why they pork. Okay, I can. Okay, but yeah, they shouldn't have pork milk in that grocery. They shouldn't have poured out all the milk in the grocery store. So that is one of the newer. Yeah, that's kind of like, I don't know, that they can't change anyone's mind by being a dick. But I can see where they're coming from and I get it.
I understand.
But doesn't warrant.
I think what we should be focusing on, right? We should be talking about why are we the 10%? Like, why should you guys be the 10%? Like, people out there tell me, like, they give me like really strong points, Like, I think that day I was talking to my friend, he told me that, Hari, let's say now you go to a cafe, they cook meat for 10 people, killed already, cooked already, only 9 people eat, and you're the last person you decide not to eat. You think the meat is going to go to waste, whether it goes to your tummy or not? It's still killed. The process is done. Regardless whether you eat it or not, it's going to go to the rubbish bin. It's a good, strong point. And therefore, people are this lower 10% where they give themselves reasons, like these reasons, or like, I want to see progress and stuff like that, make a move, But then again, that's why it's your own, I wouldn't say rational belief, but rationality, of course, is a big part to play. But then again, you have to ask yourself, rather than being so quick to aggression, quick to push things away, like sit down and think. Do your facts. We don't talk stuff without facts at all. There are facts out there, there are journal articles, peer-reviewed out there for you guys to read. Like, it's not, we are just up here talking bullshit, It's there. You guys have to take time to read and to analyze and see which is a worthy lifestyle you want to live. If then again, it's your own choice, lifestyle choice. But then again, you have to see what the repercussions of such a lifestyle choice. It might affect your children in the future, might affect society, might affect the earth, whatever it is. There's always, every action, there's always opposite reaction. So then again, you guys have to think about what you guys want to do, Like, that's the reason why we are at 10%, because we know, we are aware, and we want to make the first step. We don't want to wait, because waiting is not going to make a chance. Like, then again, people always ask this one thing I always won't forget. If I do one thing, what does me, one person, make a difference? I'm telling you, everybody, 1 million people have that thought. That's why 1 million people are not doing anything. 1 million people have that thought to be that one person, right? 1 million people will make a difference already. Everybody think that way. You think what is it? Create one whole 1 million a group network where 1 million people tell, okay, let's all make a change. And 1 million, boom, the thing just changed. No, it's 20, maybe 30 people. They do groups, one, accumulate. That's how we have millions today. That's how it works. Yeah, so you have to take the first step. Yeah, that's my part. So
I think that's what I was about to say vegan people. That's not the proper term.
Forcing you.
Okay, let's say for try to verify my statements. So
Yeah.
what vegans are trying to do right now is they're trying to spread the word, definitely, and then trying to educate the masses about the implications of eating meat and etc. So, but compared to last time where veganism isn't even a concept or isn't even a philosophy, right? We used to just eat meat, and then compared to last time, now there's more people going vegan, and because of that, there's even if it's a fragment of change, there is change. Maybe 2-3 cows get saved, but that's 2-3 cows saved, So maybe if we can say for now 2022, but 10 years down the road, 50 years down the road, this thing might even be illegal. Wow, we really don't know, man. So maybe for the vegans, if they try to aggressively, not aggressively, but constantly try to spread out the information and try to educate the masses, then maybe one day their idea might be to fruition, and then it might go to the governments and they start acting out, because veganism is a philosophy, right? It's a way of life, right? Can I say that? It's a philosophy. So and we all have different philosophies on what is right and what is wrong,
Definitely.
That's the literal essence of philosophy.
Definitely.
So I think it's interesting to see down the road what actually happens. Yeah. And then maybe for viewers who listen to our podcast, right, they might actually do the change. So that's 1% converted.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
That's the thing. 1% can be converted.
Yeah. So
So I would like to, since we spent a lot of time talking already, to wrap up episode, I would like to ask, like, since I've said my part, like John, like why would you tell the viewers like to be the first 10%? Like why would you want to tell them? Like anything, like whatever it is. Since I've said my part, you could say something that could convert. So convert, oh my god, not convert, but
Convert.
educate. Yes, educate the
Yes,
mass.
correct word. Okay. Well done, Hari.
If only I could just cancel in between when I say shit. It'll be so much more safer. But yeah.
Okay, so like you mentioned just now, why every individual should play a role, right? Yeah. So why every individual should do it? Like, okay, why every individual should not vote with their money and financially support this industry? It has many things. Like just cause you disagree with something, but everyone's doing it, doesn't mean you should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, we have passed the part where it's for your own health as well. So even if you don't care about animals and whatnot, it's still for yourself as well. And you're voting with your money for industry that causes so much suffering to animals, the environment, to other people, for a product that causes harm to yourself. So logically speaking, it doesn't really make sense after a while. So that's why for me, I realized that there's a case for it. But like you mentioned, every individual can play a role. And because every individual can play a role, collectively we can do something. But at the same time, why is there a call for action for every individual? Like when I talk to some people, I think I talked to your friend the other day also. He was telling me in the future there will be plant-based meats. There will be no more need for this, and because of that,
tech. Yeah, my friend believe tech will change, and I do believe tech can solve.
Yeah, that'd be great. I agree with you that
solve.
there's potential.
Plant-based meat, that means it just tastes exactly like meat.
Yeah,
like
so
impossible-
technology will. Yeah.
So
technology.
there's nothing wrong with that. But he did mention that once that comes out and once everyone switches to it, then he'll consider switching.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Just cause you disagree with something, but just cause it's culturally appropriate, you'll follow it.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, what? Okay, no, kidding.
Don't put me on spot. Like continue talking. Faster.
Yeah. So just cause you know that the future looks good,
Yeah.
doesn't mean you should not work towards a good future. Just cause you know that suffering will be elevated in the future, doesn't mean you should cause suffering now. And the thing is, people don't like to hear this, but okay, it might sound a little bit strong also, but by supporting this industry financially, you're still causing cruelty to animals. No one likes to think of themselves as a cruel person that's causing suffering to another thing, another living thing. And because of that, they don't like the message that vegans give. But I think there are types of cruelty and types of abuse. There's indirect abuse and indirect and direct abuse.
Yeah.
Is it like are you saying it's like enabling?
In a way, you're financially paying someone to do your dirty work for you in a way. Because if you won't slaughter an animal yourself, I know some people out there will say yes, they can slaughter an animal themselves. That's great. So the next question, ask yourself: is it cruel? Is it abuse? Because you're causing needless suffering. Because you can eat, instead of eating that chicken burger, you can opt for a tofu burger, and the tofu burger will definitely have less suffering than the chicken burger, for example.
In other contexts, like hiring a mercenary to assassinate somebody,
Basically,
as
something like
compared
that.
to
lah.
killing. Okay.
Yeah, you're paying someone else to
I'm
abuse.
just
a
finding an
living
excuse to lean to
animal.
Hari.
I understand. I
Yeah,
understand.
it's okay. Harry big arms. Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, from me is what I like to tell a lot of people is, wouldn't you want to vote with your money for industry to change to industry that doesn't cause so much suffering to animals, to give you a product for yourself that isn't exactly that great for your body, that causes suffering to fellow human beings, and is messing up our environment for the next generations to come. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Greatly put.
Okay.
Yep. So I think we've come to the end of the episode. You want to add anything more, Keith?
No, actually, it's has it been 40 minutes?
Yeah.
All right.
Probably
Okay.
more. I didn't keep track of the time.
Okay.
But yeah. So that's all today, guys. And I hope you guys learned something. If you guys have any questions, you guys can drop like a message or DM whatever to us, and we can educate you more. Or you need journal articles, let us know. We can pass you journal articles. Yeah, and that's about it. So thank you guys for listening. And I hope-
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to point out there that okay, so whatever we have spoken so far is from our own views. You are free to actually pursue your own views also. And if you think that this topic is actually interesting, just do give us some feedback. We would like to thank our special guest here for actually sharing his inputs and also collaborating with our inputs and our questions. I think that's brave of him also, because I know that veganism isn't a common philosophy. Okay, the common is people eat meat. So vegetarian or veganism, okay, it's a very foreign concept to some. So that the fact that he's here today to educate and maybe
All the way
to
from the East,
rationalize,
guys.
to
Okay,
rationalize,
where we stay. Okay, my continue.
rationalize our questions and spread the message is important. So what do you really feel about this? Just let us know. And and if you have something that goes against his philosophy, or maybe you think that veganism isn't the best way to go about, do leave some comments and maybe we can explore in future episodes, right? Yeah. So okay, I think that's all for now. Do you have any other last words?
Nope.
All right.
Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Do you have any last words just to really end it off? Any
You
last
wanna
message?
Score,
Let's hurry. Let's do it. No kidding.
yeah, you get that all the time. Thank you.
Social media, we got Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and most if you want a listening experience, go to Spotify. Okay. Thank
Actually,
you so much.
yeah, okay, yeah. Take care, guys. Bye bye.